in effect for a large portion of the area. This includes Memphis and Shelby County. It's going to go until 10 o'clock tonight. Northern Mississippi and primarily areas south, along and south of the 40 corridor included in this. And we're also keeping a close eye on a couple of counties, Lee and Phillips back in eastern Arkansas. We've got an enhanced risk of strong to severe storms again today. High risk yesterday. This is a level 3 on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the greatest threat. But you can see it encompasses just about the entire coverage area. Our main concern tonight is flooding. On a scale of 1 to 10, we're giving that a 10. We're going to see a tremendous amount of rain across the area. Wind coming in at a 5. The tornado threat still low at 3, but there could still be some isolated tornadoes in play. Right now, we've got a flood watch in effect. This is going to remain until 7 o'clock Sunday morning for the entire Mid-South and Action News 5 coverage area. A look outside from our Best Care Home Services camera overlooking the Mississippi River. Rain right now, no strong to severe storms, but your first alert to round 2. Yeah, the severe weather threat continues. We've got another stormy night, and I want you to stay weather aware across the Mid-South. You can see all this activity coming in out of the southwest. It's going to make a slow push to the south, but in this area right here, we could find strong to severe storms working their way through. Right now, we're just dealing with rain. There's also a lot of lightning, but we've also got a few flood warnings. As a matter of fact, one flood warning right now, that is for Fayette, Hardeman, Haywood, and Madison. Another flood warning just to the south and west of that. That is for Crittenden, Lee, Phillips, and Tunica. This is going to go until 9:30 tonight. The one in Shelby County is going to go until 7:30, but I wouldn't be surprised if those were extended. Right now at Memphis International, we've got rain and 61 degrees. Look at this. We picked up almost 4 inches of rain since midnight. As we take a look at the 5-hour planner, it's going to continue into the evening hours. Temperature's going to hover right around 70 degrees. Here's what you need to know. Have ways to get warning, multiple ways. First Alert weather app, weather radio. You can't just rely on sirens. We've got 2 more days of storms coming our way, but fortunately, a calmer pattern begins on Sunday, and I've got your First Alert to it and what's in between now and then in my First Alert forecast just ahead. Joe?
All right, Ron, we have our reporters across the Mid-South. We're going to start in North Mississippi, specifically Sladen and Marshall County, that had damaged and mowed down trees and power lines. Action News 5's Sydney Gray maneuvered around the downed trees and power lines and joins us now from Marshall County.
I'm in Marshall County, where nearly 100 homes have been impacted by the storms last night. We're talking this entire community really just reeling from what we have all seen, and that is devastation. Just take a look at the home here. I mean, look at that car. It's all been impacted from the storms. In this community, the roofs are gone. Even a bus flipped over on its side. We actually had a chance to speak with family of the homeowner here, and they are just devastated. One woman I spoke to said while her home is still standing, the others belonging to her sister, her aunts, even her mother, all just destroyed by the devastation from last night. Well, a family friend, she shared how grateful she is that everyone is okay.
Just knowing that everybody made it out. Yeah, I would definitely say we were blessed. It's like you plan for these things, but you never really think that it's going to happen.
Back here off of Hogan Road, it is really going to take a while to restore the neighborhood, really this entire community, as they work to rebuild. But one thing is for sure, everyone that I've spoken to in this area tells me they are just grateful that everyone is okay and there have been no injuries to report. We're going to be here for quite some time, and we'll bring you more on Action News 5. Here in Marshall County, Sydney Gray, back to you.
There's the devastation, but a far different story in terms of casualties and injuries as we move to West Tennessee, the hardest hit area in the Mid-South, Selmer in McNairy County. Governor Bill Lee just toured that area today. Our Bria Bolden was there for that. She joins us now live from Selmer, Tennessee. With Bria, we were hearing 4 people dead, 20 injured. Is that right?
Yeah, we have 4 confirmed deaths here in McNairy County, which is awful to hear. I did just speak with the TEMA director who did tell me they had more than 20 injuries here in McNairy County overnight. We're currently in the Selmer Community Center where the Red Cross has set up just an overnight shelter for people to come and stay. I'm going to give you a little look on the side. We do have some people who are currently staying here, so we don't want to show them, but these are just examples. These are some of the cots that the Red Cross has set up to help the people here in Selmer and in McNairy County. And like you said earlier, Joe, Governor Bill Lee is in town. He did survey some storm damage around the area, and just the pictures, the images coming out of here, just walking through this damage, it is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Truly, homes destroyed, neighborhoods destroyed, churches heavily damaged here, and like we said, 4 confirmed deaths here in McNairy County. But the one thing we are seeing is people coming together to help other people, to make sure that they have food, they have a roof over their heads, that they have clothing to put on their backs. We're going to continue our coverage here in Selmer, and we're actually going to take just a step outside to continue looking at some of that damage here. Joe, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
All right, we'll be checking back in with you. Bria Bolden in Selmer, Tennessee, the seat of McNairy County. Now, a look at this. The massive twister decimating parts of northeastern Arkansas. Action News 5's Tavarius Haywood made the trip over to Lake City, where this tornado tore through that community. He shares how residents are feeling after taking this major hit.
And we are still here in Lake City, Arkansas, where we're getting a better look at the damage that a tornado left behind from yesterday. Just take a look. This is across the street here, just west, the west side of town. That home there is, has the roof completely taken off, and there's a home also in front of that home, which, people are outside. I can see them hugging each other, talking to each other. And I want to show you this home right here. What's left of this home here is just the foundation. This again shows you the velocity that this storm came through and tore this town. You can see the tops of these trees as well have been, completely taken off. In that ditch over there, there's 2 vehicles that, just completely all tore up. I want to walk down here. Do you remember that puppy that we showed you earlier? Around 2 or 3 o'clock this morning, we actually spoke to the homeowners. They reunited with their dog, which they actually saw it on live TV that their dog was okay. But just take a look at their place. Talking to them, they said that they took shelter in a tornado or storm cellar. And he said that's really what saved their lives. Listening to the weather updates, take a listen at what they had to say. Where do you even start?
I don't know at this point. It's just one of them deals in that book of life that I ain't got an answer for. Never been through it. So all I can do is rely on family and friends that are. I got some friends that are better than family.
Cover our kids and everything, and I mean it was pretty sturdy, but just to feel it, I mean we knew it was a bad tornado, just the way it felt. But right here, he was able to actually, look and see.
Well, I was about to say, did you guys see it, watch it coming in?
Yes.
And then take cover?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, we'd seen it, from Bay, and I mean, it was just getting bigger and darker, and we were watching you, and we're like, it's coming. We've got to go. And then we took shelter.
Just for sure, truly devastating. It's just hard to wrap your mind around where to even, pick up the pieces of what's left. So many memories gone. You can pick up your clothes, but speaking to those folks, they said they're just glad to have each other. And they're actually staying with one of their friends who were here moments after the tornado, ripped apart their home. So again, as these storms continue we're another round of storms, we just want everyone to be safe. In Lake City, Tavarius Haywood, Action News 5.
Back here in Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee and State Emergency Management Agency Director Patrick Sheehan issued a state of emergency for the state of Tennessee. Lee also requested an emergency declaration for Tennessee that was granted by the White House. TEMA says The state of emergency allows Tennessee to take measures to protect citizens and expedite assistance, including mobilizing resources and coordinating responses. The Arkansas governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, declared a state of emergency just before 10 o'clock last night as a result of these storms. According to the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management, 22 counties in the state reporting damage. Devastating, horrible storms took aim at places other than the Mid-South as well. We'll hear from survivors in Missouri about the toll storms took there. Well, the Mid-South wasn't the only part of our country slammed by those strong storms. Washington County, Missouri is the damage you're looking at there, where so many places people pick through what's left of their homes. A reported line of tornadoes flipped vehicles, destroyed homes, and knocked out power in Missouri. According to Missouri State Highway Patrol, no fatalities reported in the state so far. Many residents went to shelters when they heard the storm approaching.
I said, time to go into what we call the trophy room, where it's all in stone. And so we went there. And then the whole house rattled and shook. When you see the kind of destruction that really happened here in just a blink of an eye, you really need to go for shelter.
Well, more damage in West Missouri when a suspected tornado swept through the city of Nevada. It caused significant damage to homes and businesses, even flipping a semi-tractor trailer truck. One woman rode out the storm in a motel room bathtub. She says nearly all her belongings were destroyed except for her mother of the bride dress. Missouri State Police say no deaths there, but our NBC affiliate spoke with the city managers, who say one person was injured when a tree fell on them.
Rain still coming down here in the city of Memphis and across much of the Mid-South. Tornado watch in effect from Memphis south and east. That's going to remain until 10. Your first alert to what's coming next in my first alert forecast just ahead.
Continuing our first alert weather day coverage here at Action News 5. Here's a tornado caught on camera at Monette in eastern Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas. One of the residents all too familiar with the twister's destruction is a 97-year-old man who has lived in the same home for some 65 years. He ran into our reporter T. Wood this morning on the streets of Monette. He says the storm lasted just 5 minutes. This is how he described the sound that made through his home while tearing it apart.
Sound like a dang motorboat going through. Wood. Cleared this big trees here at my yard. It hit.
In the back there?
Yes, sir.
A lot of heartbreaking stories coming out of the Mid-South today, and we're not finished with this by any stretch of the means. Let's take a look. First alert weather day continues today. Tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock, issued right around 1 this afternoon. It's for areas mainly along south of the 40 corridor. Memphis and Shelby County included in this. An enhanced risk today. Yesterday we had a high risk over the area, but this is still a level 3 on a scale of 1 to 5, and it encompasses just about every county in the coverage area. First alert Doppler radar got a lot of activity. Fortunately, the only warnings we have right now are flood warnings. Those are going to go until the evening hours, but we're going to see these likely extended, and really flooding is our major concern with this. Now, tomorrow we've got a slight risk of severe weather over the area, and that continues on into Saturday as well, with an enhanced risk just to our south and west, but clipping Shelby County. Severe weather outlook, our main concern is heavy rain, extreme threat for that. Damaging wind, large hail and tornado threat tonight through Saturday. Still a medium threat on all 3 of those. We also have the flood watch in effect that's going to remain until 7 o'clock Sunday morning for the entire coverage area. And that precipitation trend extends into the weekend. The heavier precipitation, I think, over the next 3 days will come into play on Saturday. We'll talk more about that, but a drier pattern emerges as we get into next week. In the meantime, additional rainfall on top of what we've already had will be anywhere from about 5 to close to 7 inches of rain over parts of the Mid-South. And by the time it's all said and done, I think we're going to see some record-breaking rainfall amounts in the area. I want you to track it all on the Action News 5 First Alert Weather app. Came in very handy last night, getting warnings. Scan the QR code. It'll take you right to your app store. You can download it for free for Apple and Android products right to your tablet or smartphone. I think you can tell where the area of instability is right now. Look at this. We've got 84 down in Oxford, 70 in Holly Springs. Memphis at 60 and low to mid 60s for much of the Mid-South, but going to keep a close eye on North Mississippi. Now, I think heavy rain from now until about 7 o'clock, primarily along and north of the corridor. As we get to around 10 o'clock tonight, doesn't look so bad, but we're going to continue to watch this through the overnight hours. I think we'll see a little bit of a lull in the early morning tomorrow, but during the afternoon, we'll get back in the heat of the day. And look, we're going to get in the 80s. We're going to find temperatures south and east near 80, and these isolated cells developing could spin, possibly producing more tremendous or torrential rain, hail, and possibility of isolated tornadoes, and that could continue into the evening hours before finally subsiding as we get into Friday night. So tonight, 66, cloudy, heavy rain and thunderstorms. Your rain chance 60%. Planning your day tomorrow, expect rain for a good part of it. Only about a 20 to 30% chance, but 40% chance in the morning and at 7 in the evening. So we'll give tomorrow's rain chance overall 40%. A mostly cloudy but warm and muggy day, 85 the high, and look at that wind out of the southeast at 10 to 20. So that Gulf moisture is still feeding all of these scattered storms. With the instability in place, it will continue. Let's talk about Saturday, another first alert weather day there. We'll hit 78 for a high. Many of us likely waking up to rain in the very early morning hours, but I think as we get into the early afternoon, right around midday Saturday, we're going to see another wave coming right into the area. That will continue into the late afternoon and evening hours. Strong storms likely making their way through the area into Saturday night before finally subsiding a bit In the early morning hours of Sunday, we'll still deal with some scattered showers, but I think the severe weather threat will be out of here and noticeably cooler. High of only 58 on Sunday. And here's what we've been waiting for. Monday, sunshine and 60. We'll get to 64 on Tuesday. Slight chance of a stray shower Wednesday. Highs in the upper 60s for Wednesday and Thursday. A better pattern's coming, but between now and Saturday, I want you to stay weather aware. More of Action News 5 at 3:30 right after this.
You're watching Action News 5 now.
The severe weather caused destruction across the midsection of our country last night and overnight. For more on areas hardest hit by the powerful twisters, we go to Kathy Park.
These violent storms were not just powerful, but also deadly, claiming at least 6 lives. And at one point, hundreds of thousands of customers were without power across several states. Here in Monette, Arkansas, this is just an example of some of the damage that we are seeing here on the ground. You'll notice behind me, these silos completely destroyed, heavy machinery toppled over. And it's not just the infrastructure, but the farmland has also taken a hit. Just take a look at the damage here. We're told that this will have a ripple effect moving forward on the ag community. Meanwhile, it is not just Arkansas, but several states have declared a state of emergency, including the state of Kentucky. The governor there saying that the forecast headed their way is something that he has never seen. Overnight in Indiana, we're also aware of a warehouse that collapsed, that trapped a woman. So we are...
All right. You can see it's raining right here. We'll have more coverage coming up in just a few minutes on Action News 5 at 4 o'clock.
Stream Action News 5 for free on actionnews5.com, on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. Sponsored by Memphis Showboats.